Today we're making banana pudding cups. These are so simple and easy with minimal ingredients. Hi, I'm Tara with Simply Made Eats and welcome to my channel. Today we're making these banana pudding cups. This is a classic Southern dessert, but we're making them in little individual glass portions like this. It's super fun to make and so fun to eat. So let's get started. We're gonna be starting by just rinsing out our mason jars for this. I like to just give everything a nice rinse with warm water. If you don't want to buy mason jars, you can also just use those little see-through plastic cups. That way everybody can just throw them away when they're done, so it's like a little bit less cleanup. You guys are gonna love this recipe because it only has 6 ingredients. We need heavy cream, cold milk. We're gonna be using a vanilla jello packet for the pudding. This is a 5.1 ounce container. We've also got a 14 ounce sweetened condensed milk. We have, of course, bananas. And then we've got vanilla wafers or Nilla wafers. I like the mini ones for this because we're doing individual desserts, so they're not like these giant cookies. If you have the giant cookies, you can also like just break them up a little bit. That's totally fine. To get started with this recipe, we are gonna follow the instructions on our pudding mix, which is just to beat together. We've got 3 cups of cold milk with our pudding mix. We wanna whisk this for 2 minutes until it gets nice and thick. So we're gonna whisk this for a full 2 minutes. You actually have to work for it. We're using a regular whisk like this, so you gotta put some time and effort into it. Once it starts to thicken a bit, we are gonna let this sit for about 3 more minutes until it's nice and set. It's just gonna keep getting thicker as it sits here. Next, we're gonna pour in a 14 ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. This is just a combination of milk and sugar, and it's gonna bring in some really good sweetness. Sometimes you gotta use a spoon to just get all that milk out because it's nice and sticky. And then we're just gonna stir this in to the pudding mix. Next, we're gonna stick this pudding mixture in the fridge while we make our whipped cream. Next, we're gonna bring in our mixer to save us a little time and energy. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer here, no big deal. For this recipe, I'm only using heavy cream. I just want a nice whipped topping. And usually with a whipped cream, I'm gonna add like powdered sugar and vanilla extract into it just to make it sweeter. But we already have so much sweetness in the banana pudding, I am just doing heavy cream. So we're just gonna pour that into our stand mixer. And I like to mix this on a medium speed for just until we get stiff peaks, which means like when you pull this up, it should form like little mountains on top that stay in place. Okay, so as you can see, it's really nice and fluffy. If you taste it, you'll see what I'm talking about. Like it's really just like, it tastes like cream. That's all it is. Not sugary at all because we didn't add any sweetness. I'm gonna use half of this to mix into our pudding mix. And then if you feel like you want more sweetness for that top layer where it's just whipped topping, you can go ahead and add a little bit of powdered sugar or vanilla to the extra. It's up to you. We're gonna add half of that whipped cream into our pudding mix. We're gonna reserve the rest just for the top layer of the banana pudding cups. Then you're just gonna take and just fold this in until it's fully combined. You don't wanna stir because we wanna keep it nice and light and fluffy. Once we add that whipped topping into our pudding mix, it's gonna turn more into pudding after that sweetened condensed milk thinned it out a little bit. So we're gonna go ahead and pop this back into the fridge while we slice up our bananas and get our vanilla wafers ready. You wanna make sure before you start assembling your cups that you go ahead and just dry everything. Make sure you dry the lids too, because we don't want any like water getting everything nice and soggy in there. Okay, so before I get started, I like to kind of make like a little station of everything. I'm gonna add my vanilla wafers into a bowl. These things are so good. They like remind me of my childhood. They're so yummy. And then what I like to do is just cut one banana at a time. I'm gonna be using about 4 of these. And I like to slice my bananas really thin. If you don't like that, you can do whatever you want. You can definitely do it thicker. But the reason why I just do one at a time and then kind of assemble and then do it as I go is because I don't want the bananas getting all brown. You can also toss them in lemon juice. A lot of people do that just to keep them from browning. But I feel like once they get in there with the custard, they really don't brown that much. So I just try and get them into the mixture. Okay, so for assembly, we're gonna start with our pudding mixture. I have a little spout on my bowl, which is awesome. You guys might wanna use one like that, but we're just gonna pour a bit of that in. This is all about layers. You can do more layers if you want, if you're not lazy like me. Then we're gonna do some bananas. I'm gonna add like 4 or 5. Then we're gonna do a little bit more pudding. Then we've got vanilla wafers. I'm gonna do like 4 or 5 mini ones. I like to try and get them as flat as possible just so that you can see them. I'm gonna do more on the top too. Then we're gonna just do a little bit more custard, a little bit more bananas. Then I'm just gonna do a little bit more custard. I'm making a hot mess. And then I'm gonna do one more layer of vanilla wafers, and we're gonna top it with just a little bit of whipped cream. You kind of get better as you do more of these. I overfilled this one a little bit more than I like, but just a little bit of whipped cream on the top. I like to be able to close these if I need to, so I'm gonna go a little lower on the next one. So I like to go ahead and add the lid on like this. You can see it's like, when I pull it out of the fridge, it's just like this cute little banana pudding, and then you can just serve them with a spoon. It's super easy. I just love how they look. I'm like obsessed with anything like for like Memorial Day or 4th of July. Like I love it in a glass jar, like whether it's like those trifles with like strawberries and berries and whipped cream or banana pudding. If you guys want to just do like one giant one too, like a regular banana pudding, you just put it in a trifle bowl with the layers. I think that's what it's called, a trifle bowl. Like one of those glass upside down punch bowls type of deal. That's gonna save you a little bit more mess, but I like the individual cups. They're so fun. They're so much fun. So this recipe definitely makes a nice mess in the kitchen. I like to just go and wipe down, as I tighten the lids, I'll just wipe down each glass just to make sure they're not too sticky. And this made 12 8-ounce jars, so it makes a nice amount. It's great for parties. All right, and then these are gonna go in the fridge. It's really up to you. So some people like to keep their banana pudding like overnight in the fridge. Some people eat it right away. It's really like however you like it. I like to have mine in the fridge for like an hour or so before I start eating them. These are gonna be so good. I can't wait. If you want, you can like write banana pudding on the tops with Sharpie. It just looks kind of cute. That's it, we're all done with these easy banana pudding cups. I hope you guys make this one. It's a no-bake recipe and it's so easy, great for parties. It makes 12 8-ounce cups of these, which is a big batch. I hope you guys check out my blog too. I've got lots of Memorial Day recipes on there, not just desserts. There's smash burgers, pulled pork, Hawaiian macaroni salad, all the best things for Memorial Day. Thanks so much for watching and I will see you next week. Thanks. So good. Now I gotta go clean the kitchen.